Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to this virtual dialogue. My name is Nicolas Serrano de la Paz, or Nico. I use they, them pronouns, and welcome to our virtual dialogue for the Emerging Latine Creators Showcase happening at the Cinematheque. Before we begin with the virtual dialogue, many of us, the emerging programmers, cohort 2026 and the BILAF team are all calling in from the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, which include the homelands of the Hunkaminam-speaking Humaskrium and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations, as well as the Scohomish-Nitcham-speaking Scohomish First Nation. Having access to the language of our communities, as we know in Latin America, allows us to be connected to culture. And at BILAF, we are very proud to showcase over 10 different languages from the region that is now known as Latin America, or before that, Abya Yala. Maria, Rodrigo, and Mireya here will be assisting with translation if it's needed. Joining us today from all around Latin America, Abya Yala, we have the creators, José Matamala, director of Pierced by the Blaze, Beto Arce, director of photography of Pierced by Blaze, Wagner Nogueira, Mendes, director of Kaira and the Temporal Twist, Andrés Flores Paredes, director of Molinuco, Mariana López Hernández, director of Emotional Landscapes, Sofía Alejandra Uzcátegui León, director of Chichala Chicharra or Chicha de Sequeda, Laura Natalia Rangel, producer of Chicha de Sequeda, María Paula Rodríguez Santos, director of photography of Chicha la Cigarra, Carolina Mendes Angarita, distributor of Chicha de Sequeda, Tadeo Morales, director of Hedgehog, as well as most of the members of our cohort, which include Rodrigo, Pablo, and Maria. We hope that you can join us for the special event that we will be having, the showcase on Tuesday, June 23rd at 6 p.m. at the Cinematheque, where we'll screen the shorts program. We'll also have a live music set by the Satyas and Brazilian food from Boteco to enjoy. Additionally, our 24th edition of the festival runs from September 10th to 20th in multiple cinemas in downtown Vancouver. So stay tuned for a full lineup announcement that will be up on vilaf.org soon, VLAFF.org. We would also like to thank our funders, Canada Council for the Arts and City of Vancouver and Telefilm. Now I will pass it on to Maria, who is going to kick us off with the first question.
Hello, everybody. My name is Maria Alejandra Blanco Gutierrez. I am part of the 2026 Emerging Latine Programs cohort with BILAF, and I wanted to thank every single one of you, not only the people watching this right now, but everyone joining us in our meeting today. Thank you to all the filmmakers who submitted their films, and thank you for allowing us to share your beautiful works with the City of Vancouver. Now, for the question, I would like all of you to briefly introduce yourself and your film and tell us how it came to be. Like, what was the process behind it? Was there a particular moment or memory or a person or something that sparked the creation of your film? Thank you.
To start us off, maybe Andrés, if you would want to start off the dialogue.
Claro, muchas gracias. Bueno, yo soy Andrés Flores Paredes, soy director, guionista y productor de Quito, Ecuador. Mi proyecto, mi cortometraje se llama Molinuco. Es un corto en Super 8, que es como un formato muy fílmico desde como los 80s o los 60s que se usaban en las familias. Y si quieren, me quedo ahí hasta que puedan traducir.
Hi, my name is Andrés Paredes, director, scriptwriter, and also producer of the short film Molinuco, a short film from Quito, Ecuador, that it's also shot in Super 8, a format that really is based upon really cinematographic. Yeah.
Thanks. Sí, el corto tiene una inspiración en el fallecimiento de mi madre por una enfermedad catastrófica como fue el cáncer hace unos 5 años ya. Pero apenas ella falleció, me pidió, o sea, bueno, antes de que fallezca me pidió que echemos las cenizas en una cascada que ella algún día fue, que se llamaba el Molinuco. Entonces, cada año que regresamos, sentía que había como algo importante ahí y una vez que conseguí una cámara y tuve el cartucho, sentí que la mejor idea de una película sentimental y personal era poder grabar este lugar que es tan significativo para mí.
So the short film comes from briefly the moment where my mother passed away due to cancer 5 years ago. After acquiring my first film camera, I decided to go shoot this waterfall from the same name called Molinuco and spread the ashes. And from there, I thought it was something really special and something really that I needed to do while capturing on film.
Thank you so much for your answer, Andrés. Mariana, if you wanna go ahead with your answer, please.
Me, right? Well, hi, I'm Mar López. I'm from Mexico, and I'm the director of Emotional Landscapes. This film comes from my own memories. The photo albums in my home, the conversations with my mom, everything that is put out in this film, it's because I felt it in some type of way while I was writing it. And it was also, this film was made for school, actually. I just graduated back in December, but they asked us to do this film to be a hybrid format. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's like putting two genres. And so I wanted to make a film that it was also like an essay about memory. So that's how it came to mind. And I don't know, that's kind of how I did it. Like looking back in my own memories, put them in the film, and I don't know, just that.
Gracias, Mar. Apologies for using your legal name. It's what I have on my document, pero good to know. Yeah, Sofía, if you want to answer the question, please.
Yes. Hello. The idea for our short film, La Chicharra, came to be from different inspiration points. The main one was cicadas. They are these small insects, and they live under the earth for a long time, and then they come out and they produce a really strong sound, and then they die like 2 weeks later. And we had been working with my friends in a documentary about these cicadas that live in a park in front of my house in Bucaramanga. And at the same time, we were thinking about our graduation project for university. And at the time, I was feeling like I had a lot of expectations about life and adulthood and these transitions into finishing college. And I was thinking that maybe cicadas spend a lot of time underground and they come out and maybe they are disappointed with what they find outside. And that was the main idea of the film. And then there was also this avocado that she wanted, and the avocado was came to be because in our university there are a lot of avocado trees, but also because an avocado is something that you have to wait for to be perfect to eat it. And we were thinking maybe someone doesn't have enough time for an avocado to be perfect, and what if it's like that? And that's what happens to the protagonist, to Chicha. She comes out and she finds out that the world is not what she expected, and she thinks she can make it better by waiting for an avocado to be right. And turns out she doesn't have enough time. And after finishing the film, I also realized that I have put something very personal of mine in it, and it's Chicha's mourning for her home. Chicha is also disappointed because her home is no longer what she remembered, since all the trees have been cut down and now it's a park in the middle of Bucaramanga. And I think that's also my life a bit, because I am an immigrant, and I also have this mourning for a home in me, and I think I put it in the film a bit unconsciously. So yeah, those are the personal ideas that are in the film. And at the end, it's also a story about friendship, and I did it with my friends. So at the end, all these characters come together and they sing together. And I think that is also something that came to be as part of our process of us making this film together.
Thank you so much, Sofía. José, do you want to take a crack at the question?
Hola, hi everyone. I'm speaking Spanish for this answer. Soy José, directora de Cuando atraviesa un destello, Pierced by a Blaze. Es un cortometraje que retrata a tres protagonistas, vidas travesti trans de Buenos Aires, Argentina. Es un retrato, creo que bastante personal, poético, que intenta retratar algunas escenas de su cotidianidad, que está, bueno, marcada por los vínculos afectivos, la amistad, la resistencia, la danza, porque son pertenecientes a comunidad ballroom, y cómo de alguna manera siempre encuentran formas de sobrellevar las adversidades, lo violento que puede ser la existencia para las personas trans. También está atravesado por la no binaridad, la marronitud. Eh, bueno, eso, en general es un retrato de sus vidas cotidianas. Nace desde unas ganas y necesidad de contar sus historias, desde un lugar de compartir la misma comunidad también. Teníamos ganas de hacer una película con gente amiga, somos todos parte de la misma comunidad trans no binaria. Así que también vino desde un lugar como cercano, ya nos conocíamos, de hecho la inspiración vino de conocernos, de ir a las kikis, de encontrarnos en manifestaciones, de compartir en la calle, y ahí, bueno, no, también personalmente me enamoraron sus personalidades, el carisma que tienen, el humor, las maneras que encuentran siempre para esto, resistir, generar redes afectivas. Así que bueno, sí, nace de ahí la inspiración, la idea, y luego se fue generando todo de una manera muy conjunta. Eso, gracias.
Okay, it's a lot to unpack, but I'll do my best. Hi, my name is Jose, director of Films by a Blaze. It's a short film that portrays three different characters that come from the transvestite trans community from Argentina. It's a poetic portrait that tries to show their everyday life while also trying to tackle and show their friendship, the dance, the resistance that they have all through ballroom. Looking for different ways to overcome the obstacles that are put on their way, while also talking about non-binariness, colorness, and trying to tell this story from the place of a community, a place of closeness. And pretty much that inspiration comes from meeting each other in protest, falling in love with them, the way they make everybody laugh, the way they connect with each other. And that's pretty much where the short film came to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. And to wrap this first question off, Tadeo, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tadeo. Mostly an editor, sometimes director. And I guess Headshot, my film, comes from my memories as well, from my childhood best friend and the experiences we both shared. Because even though we met like in person, like through school, most of our friendship was based online. was based on online chat rooms, on video games played, on video calls. And throughout my life, I've realized that I've built a lot of meaningful connections through these online spaces. I and the people I've become close with have also built their own personal connections and like personal worlds through these online spaces. So I guess I've become a little bit enamored with this idea of the online space, of the chat room, of us existing as these online avatars, and the friendships, the connections, even the love that can come from these places. I think it's both a blessing and at the same time it's a bit of a curse to be disconnected, but at the same time this far away from each other. So it's just a mix of all these feelings and experiences and people that have come through my life that are presented in the short film.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for your answers. Something we wanted to ask as well is that it's really interesting and really changing in a way how emerging creators, and especially emerging creators from Latin America, create. So what we wanted to ask is, what does it mean for you to be creating in Latin American and to be Latin American in general in 2026? I'll pass it on to Andrés.
Siento que ser latinoamericano es una parte muy esencial para poder hacer cine. Creo que tenemos como muy pocas ayudas acá. En mi caso, o en el caso de Ecuador, solo tenemos como los fondos como concursables para poder hacer. Entonces creo y que aparte son como muy concurrentes, hay mucha competencia. Entonces creo que lo interesante de poder hacer cine desde Latinoamérica es hacerlo desde la comunidad. El cine es un arte colectivo y siento que desde ahí parte mucho la idea de la colaboración y del unir fuerzas para poder sacar nuestras historias adelante.
I feel like an essential part of filmmaking in Latin America is that there's not a lot of help coming from other people, and there are some like contests that you get funds from. So especially in Ecuador, it's harder because it's a lot of competition for these funds. But the most interesting thing about making film is, as a community, it's making a collective effort. It's a collective art form, and it's important to join forces to make films.
It's awesome. And what about you, Sofía, especially talking about doing animation in Latin America and being a Latin American doing animation?
That's a bit of a difficult question to answer. I think that from the animation perspective, there are many ways that is working here. But to me, being in Latin America and doing animation is about being resourceful and finding ways to create with what I have. And I think that being from Latin America is also a lot about being creative with the ways in which you find to make something happen. And I agree with that Andrés said about collaboration. And I think that there's also something special about Latin America to me is our sense of humor and the way we approach difficult situations, and we find the ways to create and to deal with stuff. So I think that is all reflected in the films.
Totally. And what about you, Jose? What is like doing like a film not only as an immigrant but also like Latin American, and on top of that like doing like protest film or trying to do kind of like a radical change with your movies, you know, with Pierce by a Blaze?
Sí, pensaba un poco lo mismo que han dicho Sofía y Andrés. De ser latinoamericanos, creo que tiene mucho de la colaboración. Hacemos con lo que tenemos. Y eso también, yo ahora vivo en Barcelona y siento que eso se nota bastante en las maneras de hacer acá, de acá como más europeas del primer mundo, del norte global. Creo que tenemos más en la práctica de siempre de hacer, colaborar. De hecho, el cortometraje fue todo producido autogestionadamente, entre amistades, yo hago esto, yo sé hacer esto, y así. Así que creo que eso es un orgullo que tengamos esas prácticas y que tenemos que seguir por ese camino. A pesar de que a veces es muy difícil o que hay pocos recursos económicos, seguir creando nuestras materiales, nuestras representaciones, nuestras historias, que son tan necesarias, sobre todo en este presente de neofascismos y con gobiernos muy totalitarios y muy oscuros. Así que sí, para mí es un orgullo ser latinoamericano en principio y también es una responsabilidad política. Eso sí, sin duda. Ahí necesita un posicionamiento porque somos territorios colonizados, violentados de distintas maneras y ser consciente de eso y tomar un punto de vista frente a eso, sobre todo en este contexto también.
Yeah, making films in Latin America, it's a very collaborative effort. We make it with what we have, and I've seen the difference now that I'm living in Barcelona compared, because it's the first world. You can see the difference. But yeah, it's especially for Peers by Blaze. It was a very self-produced effort, like friends coming together, like, oh, I know how to do this, you know how to do this. So yeah, I feel very proud to be from Latin America, and it is also a big responsibility, especially going through a neo-fascist and totalitarian like government. It's not only like something to be proud of, but it is a responsibility because we're colonized and we have to be aware of that and just like be very, yeah, to tell our stories and keep creating, regardless of, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying so hard. Thank you.
And to wrap this question up, I would like to ask both Mar and Tadeo, since you guys are both from Mexico, but also both of your films have like this experimental, Mar with the hybrid video essay, and Tadeo like doing all these different techniques. What is it like to be Latin American and doing like an experimental project like this in this context?
Well, I'm proud of being Latin American, and I come from a small town. So I think making films like as a woman and as a Latin American, it's a step forward in decentralizing cinema, not only in the world, but in my own country, because most films are made like in the capital, and it means a lot to me. I think it's baby steps, but it's step forward in like I'm sorry, I'm kind of nervous, but yes, I think it's a step forward for me to be doing this as a small creator here in my own small city. But yes.
Oh no, I agree with Mar. Like, I believe Mexico as a country itself has a privileged position over the rest of Latin America. Has a privilege, like in comparison, And even more so, like the centralized places in Mexico, like the capital city, Mexico City, has a privileged position over the rest of Mexico. I live in Mexico City, and I can see how it is much easier to get resources, to meet people, to help with projects that it can be in the rest of Mexico. I've lived in states outside of Mexico City, and it's a different story, and it's way harder. And I guess I don't know what to do about it. It's I hate that it's so, like, the harsh differences that exist between the, even inside the same country, and just as Latin America as a group, like even the harsh differences that can exist even between us as groups and as countries. I think we're all fighting the same fight, and we're all trying for the best. And I agree. I think everyone here has mentioned the great sense of community and the great sense of, like, helping each other and being able to create through that. And I don't know, I don't even know what I'm saying. I just really support this feeling of supporting each other.
Thank you, guys. I love how you all mentioned that in a way that like community is like the first thing you have to have in order to like make cinema, and that's actually true, and like that applies to like all the countries we're from, and like wherever we make films. Uh, because yeah, once you have a community, you have like you're like halfway there, because you have like people to help you, and that's beautiful. And yeah, I have a question for you guys. So many of these films engage with personal stories, communities, histories, or lived experiences. So, as filmmakers, what responsibilities do you feel like you have when representing these stories on screen? Um, I would like to start with Jose, if that's possible.
Okay. Hi. También como persona trans. Yeah.
Hola, Beto.
So I am Beto. I am director of photography of Place by Blaze by José Matamala and Queervin Films production. That's saying that we are an entirely LGTB and dissident collective, audiovisual collective, and the whole short film was made by a group of friends and travesti, trans, and non-binary people. So because of that, and because we are part of that community, and we are also Latin American, we felt that one of the most important things on doing and representing us is just being us from inside, to have this power and these experiences to be talked by us. So to be represented by just by the inside, we think it's super important. At least trying to represent ourselves in a way more cercano. Sí, cercano. Closer to our realities. So I think that's all. I don't know if you want to add something else. Sí, va relacionado con lo mismo de la forma de producir, la forma de acercarte a lo real, en cine documental al menos, desde ese sentido, sin miradas extractivistas ni revictimizantes. Y eso creo que en este caso lo conseguimos al ser parte de la misma comunidad. Sí, al ser materiales con tus colegas, con tus amigas. Sí, ¿no? Sí. Y bueno, la representación dentro de, sobre todo cuando se hacen materiales con personas trans, hay muchos materiales que lo hacen desde un lugar distante, y eso después se ve, se nota y puede caer en malas representaciones muchas veces. Pues,
So it also goes along the lines and similar to producing, or at least is trying to produce without having extra activists in the process. And I think that at least we get to achieve it doing it within the same community, being partners with one another, being collaborative with one another, with friends. And sometimes when you're trying to do trans representation or doing materials with trans people, there's a lot of times where it comes from a distant place, somewhere that somebody is looking from the outside, and it shows. So it can really lead to bad representation a lot of times.
Thank you, Jose. Yeah, we're definitely missing a lot of representation when it comes to ballroom community, voguing, and all these like queer spaces that create community. So thank you. Um, yeah, I would like to ask Sofia, as a filmmaker, what responsibility do you feel like you have when you were making Chicha?
I haven't thought much about that, but I think I always try to be really honest with what I do, and I think that's a responsibility to be honest with what you're doing and why you are doing it. And I think we were also trying to reflect something that is a bit mundane and from our daily life, and it doesn't mean that it's wrong. I think that being honest can be to look at something that is small, maybe in your life, and try to make something of it and make a film about it, and not having to search for something that feels greater and amazing or something like that. I think that, yeah, being honest, and also maybe another responsibility will be to try to take care of the people you work with and like have a nice relationship with them, uh, in this sense of community to create something. Yeah, maybe that.
Thank you, Sophia. Yeah, I liked when you mentioned that your history as an immigrant in Colombia is seen on Chicha as well. Because I haven't thought of it. But like now I get like more things about Chicha, and I think like that's a big responsibility, you know, like not only portray Chicha's story, but like merge your story with Chicha's, you know. So that's beautiful. Thank you. Um, I would like to ask Andres, what responsibility do you feel like you had when making Molinuco?
Creo que la responsabilidad más grande, más allá de hacer como una historia personal, en hacer cine creo que hay una responsabilidad de tomar como un stance, una posición política. Yo creo que el cine es político en todo sentido. Entonces, en este caso es como una decisión política, al menos en una posición tal vez sentimental y emocional, que parte desde el duelo, que parte desde lo que nos significa como que la partida de una persona que nos deja como un vacío tan fuerte, pero también creo que es como que importante poder transmitir historias que puedan sí salir desde lo personal, pero que tengan como un sentido global, porque creo que es una cuestión que tú quieras decir, pero también es como que esa historia tiene que conectar con alguien afuera. Si es que hiciéramos historias solo para nosotros, tal vez casi nadie las iría a ver. Creo que lo importante es poder entender qué historias pueden conectar con las audiencias. Entonces, en mi caso como Linuco, eventualmente todos hemos perdido o vamos a perder a alguien. Entonces, creo que ahí conectas con la historia, conectas con su presencia, conectas con su memoria, a pesar de que esta persona ya no esté contigo.
I think the responsibility that goes beyond doing a personal story and coming from film, I think there's a responsibility that comes making a stance, a political stance, I do believe that all films are political in every way. So in this case in particular, I made the political choice, at least, of taking the stance coming from sentimentalism or from an emotional place that comes from grief, that comes from somebody parting away and leaving a huge void in your life. But I also think that it's important to be able to transmit these stories and that they can come out from a personal place, but that they also have a global sense for the people outside of your own personal experience. Because I think the question or what you're trying to convey, it also comes from a story that has to connect with other people outside of a story, outside of yourself. Sorry. If we wanted to tell stories just for ourselves, maybe not a lot of people will just go to see it. So I think it's important to be able to understand that stories can connect to audiences. And in my case with Molinuku, eventually everybody has lost a well-being or a loved one. So I think you connect with the story, you connect with its presence, you connect with its memory, even though this person is no longer here.
Thank you, Andres. Yeah, it was such a big moral responsibility to honor a person with your film, and you did. You did. I think we all cried with your short film, and that was a beautiful watch. That was very vulnerable. Thank you. Um, I would like to ask Tadeo, do you do you feel like you had any responsibilities when making Hedgehog?
I I don't think that I thought that I had any responsibilities. Like while making it, it was just I need to express myself. Like I need to bring this feeling out. I need to share it somehow. But now that it's done, now that it's been shown around places, and now that more people have seen it, I've realized it really connects with autistic people. Like a lot of my friends are autistic, and a lot of them have really like grabbed onto it. And even in screenings, like I've met up with people, and they've at the end of the screening they talked to me about their experiences dealing with I don't know, dealing with trying to deal with the world, trying to with the connection with the outside world, trying to connect with people. And I guess it's kind of funny that I wasn't really thinking about that while making it. It just came naturally through the work, I think. And when I look back at it, I can see exactly why, and I realize I maybe subconsciously I was dealing with that, and I was like just working through that feeling, through that experience.
True. If you think about it, you also gave exposure to problems like social isolation, mental health, and like these like things that are pretty common in like this subculture of like video games, the internet, these forums, and we all like, I think we all know a person like this, and like actually never like seen that in film. So yeah, that guess like that was a big responsibility, to give exposure to like these problems. Thank you, Tadeo. Um, yeah, and I would like to ask Mariana. So as a filmmaker, sorry about that. As a filmmaker, what responsibility do you feel like you had when making emotional landscapes, if any?
Yes. Well, I like to make movies for girls, for women. And I think emotional landscapes was uh, entirely made for women to be to feel identified with what they see, with what they saw. And I think we've been misrepresented by media and by male gaze. So I wanted to make a film where women felt safe. And I think, I mean, it's for everybody because at the end of the day, memories are a universal thing, and how we think about them and how we remember things, it's a universal thing. But I wanted to be girls I wanted emotional landscapes to be a film where especially little girls could feel like they were being the ones in the screen. I don't know. I don't know if I I made my point, but yes, that I think we as women we have a power in our hands, and it's to direct what we've been hearing and seeing in films to something that we share and that we feel connected to, and to create this community with each other, I think. So emotional landscapes, that's why it is narrated in second person, so it feels like it's directly talking to you, but it was meant for girls to to be represented. Yes, so I think that.
Beautiful. I love when a underrepresented minority makes things for an underrepresented minority, and you actually can see that in emotional landscapes. Like it has this like female gaze, like this like female eye to it, and even if you're not like a girl, you actually like feel the things like girls they go through, and you get to connect with it because like yeah, you feel like you're like they're talking to you, like they're talking to you in the short film. So yeah, I guess like adding that female eye to a film is a big responsibility as well, and like that needs to be like shown more often because it's true that most films these days are like, well, film is like a very male centered um art, and I think like more women making more films is something that needs to be like shown and like shared. So yeah, thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
It's been, oh, I almost dropped my computer. It's been so lovely to hear everyone's answers. ¿Qué pasó? Sorry,
I think
Rodrigo.
Maria had another question.
Oh,
Sorry to cut your flow, my friend, if I may. Okay. Oh my God, you're so windy right now. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your answers. I wanted to ask, what? So this is taking into consideration that the audience in Vancouver will be looking at your films in less than a week. Oh my God, that's so excited! I'm so exciting. What? I said it wrong. Anyway, I'm so excited for people to see your films. Truly, it was a pleasure watching them, curating them, and talking to my fellow core members about them. And with that in mind, I wanted to ask you what message you would like to share with artists who are just beginning, because this was the purpose of this showcase. It's emerging filmmakers, and we are also emerging programmers. We had no previous experience programming anything like this. So, as filmmakers and artists, what is the message that you want to give to the people who are just starting their journey and putting their work out in the world? Thank you. Maybe we can start with, let's see, let's switch it up here a little bit. I mean, I know we haven't really heard from the other people here from Chicha. So if you have something to say about this one, or Sofia can also talk about this, but just so that you know, you're here. We acknowledge that you're here. So if you want to answer, please go ahead.
I think
Sorry.
there may be they're at work. Is Carol answering?
That's okay. Yeah, please, please. I just felt like they were here, and I felt bad that they were really participating. But please, Sophia, if you can answer, what message would you like to send to artists who are just beginning their journey?
Um, um, Oh, maybe. Well, I I would like to thank the festival uh, for including our film in the selection. I feel like this opportunity and this moment is really special for us. And in particular, with our film, I have felt sometimes that making something that is kind of cute in how it looks, people sometimes push it around to the children's section and don't pay too much attention to it. But I would say that someone is going to appreciate what you do and maybe enjoy it. And if you enjoy making it, then that's a win for two people. And I would say to make anything that you have in your mind, and that's a great start. And yes, thank you so much for watching our film. I am always really happy when people watch it, and if they laugh and if they feel anything at all. I really like it.
Thank you so much for submitting it. It was truly a pleasure to watch it. We all like loved it immediately. It's a beautiful film. So thank you for putting all the work into it and for sending it our way. Thank you. All right. So we hear from let's hear Tadeo. What you got to say? It's a message.
I guess I would just tell people to show what they've made. Like, if you gotta finish something first, right? But once you finish it, don't just keep it to yourself. Like, send it out to any festival that you can. Send it out to all your friends. Send it out to all your family. Like, I I believe any work of art is not complete until someone else has seen it, until someone else has experienced it. So you can learn so much from what people see in the work you've done, and you can learn so much. You can meet so many new people. You can go places like right here. I would also like to thank the festival and just this whole opportunity. But I guess my message is just don't keep it to yourself. Whatever work you've done, don't just keep it to yourself. Don't hide it away. Make sure it gets seen, no matter how. Go scream at all your friends until they watched it. Go send it anywhere you can. Share it with people. Like, that's what art is for, I think.
Thank you. That's so true. And I think it's connected to what we've been talking about in general, just the sharing. And, it's not just the making that's a community based thing, but also sharing it to the community, sharing your work. Yeah, that's it. That's beautiful. Thank you for your answer. All right. So let's hear it from Andrés.
Creo que hacer cine es una maratón. Creo que hacer cine y hacer proyectos, sobre todo en largometrajes, es una carrera de largo alcance. Y creo que el que logra llegar a la meta es el que más resiste. Es también como algo muy, muy cansón a veces, pero creo que la recompensa de poder ver el producto en la pantalla y recibir feedback, recibir lo que las otras personas sienten con tu proyecto, creo que no tiene un símil, no creo que no hay como un igual. Entonces yo el mensaje que dejaría es que no desistan. Creo que es algo un poco largo, sí, pero creo que el beneficio de llegar a la meta es algo muy, muy, muy gratificante. Y también me sumo a las felicitaciones al festival por poder programar estos muy, 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 muy bellos cortometrajes. Gracias, chicos.
So yeah, making films is, especially feature films, it's like a marathon. It's a long take, but it is worth it. the people who what is it? Those who it's like a marathon. So those who reach the goal are those who resist, those who don't give up, do never give up, and showing your work out there, getting feedback, getting people's reactions, feelings about your film. It has no comparison, has no simile. There's nothing to compare with it. The benefit is worth it. So, with that in mind, my advice to people is to never give up, to keep working. And I would also like to thank the festival for showing our film. Thank you. And now I'm back. All right. So let's hear it from. Let's hear it. Let's see. I would like to hear José. What do you got to say about this? What's a message that you want to tell new filmmakers, emerging filmmakers?
Yeah, so we think as a production film, we think that keep creating, reflecting on ourselves, yourselves in that case, building community and strengthening networks. We think that are some things that we have to keep in mind while we are creating art, especially if we have a very limited budgets that we used to, unfortunately, and especially that to just not to give up and keep believing in the power of the documentary cinema, because it make hearts closer, we think, and while we are watching some kind of pieces where we just can empathize with other people, and that's we think the goal. Thanks.
Thank you so much. That's great. It's so true. Honestly, gotta do what we gotta do, what we have. I love that. All right. So, Mar, you have a message that you'd like to share with the new artists emerging?
Yes, I think in this era, especially the social media era, it's important for us to create more than we consume. I think going out, like literally touching grass, it's gonna help you a lot to create and connecting with people, hearing what they have to say. I think it's very important nowadays. But also, if you're gonna consume, I think I invite the audience to consume things made by women, to share, to change their perspective, the perspective of the world, and to read what women have to say, to see what women make. I think it's very important because we have a very, like I said, like a very different perspective of the world, and sometimes it stays like down, like not a lot of people see things made by women. So I think that's an invitation for the people that sees my short film and the other short films to think about that. How many films by women have you watched, and how many are made per year, and so on. So yes, I think that's what my message would be to share with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I have to say about your film specifically, it really got me. So I appreciate that, as a woman, you're doing this effort and representation of other women as well. So thank you so much for your advice. Okay. Yeah. I think that was everybody for that. So, Nico, you want to take it away?
Thank you.
Rodrigo?
Sorry. we've been communicating over our chat, so I've been missing some things. Pero thank you all for answering. It's been so lovely to hear all of your answers throughout this whole dialogue. It was so lovely to watch your films. They stayed with me in so many ways. I think I cried through most of them. So I'm really grateful for putting your hearts and your stories out there in such a way that allows us to connect with them. It's also so lovely to hear how present your stories are and how you visualize them or you see them as interconnected through politics. How not only are they interconnected, but your personal stories make up the politics that we all present in our day-to-days. Even for ourselves here in Vancouver as migrants, the wave of attack that Latin America is under, the far-right governments that are coming into power, it's a scary thing to see, but it's so lovely to see stories emerge from these conditions that allow us to connect. That allow us to hear from the people on the ground who are doing the work of confronting that as people. So thank you all. To wrap up this dialogue, because we've been here for a bit, we're going to finish with a question about your future projects. We're curious to hear if there's anything that you're working on. Are you dreaming another project? And in case you're not, and you're kind of like, I'm done with film. No, I'm joking. But if in case you're not, you can please give us a thought of what you hope people take away from your film and take into their lives. But yeah, to start us off, Mar, if you want to answer this question.
Um, well, I graduated and I got like a big break from school and from cinema, but I'm currently working in a series for YouTube. Me and some friends are doing like this low budget series, and we want to put them in that specific platform because it's a platform where it can reaches a lot of people and it's accessible for everybody. So yeah, that's what we are working on. It's like still very sure right now, but it's what I've been doing like these days. But nothing much. I'm just enjoying the unemployed life right now. Yes. But yeah, thank you so much for having me and selecting my short film. It means a lot that from here in Mexico in my small town, small town, I can reach to you guys and share what me and my crew done. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Like honestly, like this isn't possible if y'all hadn't made films. So thank you. Andrés, do you want to give us an idea of what you're working on?
Ya, ahorita estoy desarrollando un largometraje que se llama Amen, no Amen, que es más o menos basado en la pérdida igual de mi mamá, solo que ya en un formato un poco más largo. Se trata de una chica que adquiere poderes místicos después de un acto profano, que es destruir una figura religiosa. Entonces, esta chica con estos poderes trata de sanar a su madre, pero a cambio de marchitar los embrios del pueblo en donde habita. Entonces, todo toma como un giro, un turning point, cuando se descubre el verdadero origen de la madre, que es un ángel. Entonces, ella con estos poderes decide ya no salvar a esta persona para quedarse con ella en la tierra, sino como utiliza sus poderes para poder elevar a su madre a donde pertenece, que es al cielo, y quedarse con ese recuerdo acá en la tierra. Es un largometraje que estoy ya desarrollando más o menos un año. Estoy justo ahorita participando por los fondos de escritura de largometraje acá en Ecuador. Y lo que yo quisiera que la gente en Vancouver sienta después de ver Molinuco es amor. Creo que el amor es lo más lindo que podemos tener el uno al otro, sobre todo entre familias, sobre todo entre madres, entre hijos. Eso.
Muchas gracias. Oh, I forgot we have
So
to translate.
yeah, no worries. So right now I'm developing my first feature film. It's called Amen no Amen, which is more or less also trying to deal with the grief of my mother as well, just in a different, more extended format. It's about a girl that acquires mystical powers after doing a profane act of destroying a religious figure. So when this girl acquires this power and is trying to heal her mother, in exchange, she starts taken away from the people of the town. So everything takes a turning point when we find out the true nature of the mother, which is an angel. So with this power, she decides to not save this person in particular, but also to stay in arts. Instead, she uses these powers to elevate her mother where she belongs, that it's in heaven, and stay with that memory back here on earth. This feature film that I've been developing has been going on around like 1 year. I'm participating right now for the grants of rewriting here in Ecuador. And what I would like for people in Vancouver to feel after watching Molinuco is simply love. I think love is the most wonderful thing that we can have with one another, between families, between everybody, between mothers and sons. So that's that.
And you're saying that while you're holding your son. Beautiful.
Fun.
I love it.
Super fun. Thank you, Andrés. Yeah, and Sofía, is there anything you're currently working on?
Yes, I am working. I am finishing one short film that I completed this year, and it's going through sound post-production. And it's an animated short film that I made on paper with ink and paper, and it was my first experience with this kind of experimental animation, and it was a wonderful experience, and I am so excited to keep on trying new techniques. So you will be seeing that very soon, like next year. And I am working on another film. I am developing another short film. It's called Guarda Rocío, which means dew keeper. And the other film that I'm finishing, it's called Pececín, like little fish. And the one I'm working on right now, I am making an artistic residence in La Universidad de los Andes in Bogota to work in that film. And it's really exciting, and I'm here right now. That's why this place looks a little weird. And yes, I am working a lot with analog and painting on paper, and it's really exciting. So yes, I hope to keep on making animation. Oh, and I have one question. I wanted to ask where we can see all of the films in the selection. It has been so wonderful to hear all of you talk about your films, and I really want to watch them. And I cannot go to Vancouver, but I was hoping maybe we could watch them somehow. Yes.
Yeah, we'll make sure that's a possibility. We'll figure out the details of that after the dialogue, but yes. Thank you, Sofía, for the question and for your answer. Then José, if you want to say, Beto, projects that Cuban Films or you're working on.
Sí, estamos hace casi un año viviendo en Barcelona. Así que bueno, queriendo seguir en la misma línea de retratos poéticos documentales de nuestra comunidad, estamos ideando en primera instancia un futuro proyecto con una persona trans también, mestiza marrona, que también es migrante, como yo. Así que sí, ese sería un futuro proyecto. Creemos también acá, bueno, ya veníamos trabajando con las comunidades trans, travestis, no binarias, y acá el tema de viviendo en Barcelona, el tema de la migración, bueno, me imagino que a ustedes también ocurre en Vancouver. El tema de la migración atraviesa, así que también ahora incorporando este lugar, una nueva interseccionalidad. Así que sí, por más relatos migrantes, trans, travestis, no binarias. Eh, y también se conecta con la siguiente pregunta, que finalmente buscamos empatizar al espectador, con las realidades por fuera de la cis heteronorma, que son personas igualmente válidas, con historias similares a las de todas las personas, si se quiere. Eh, sí, ¿qué más? ¿Quieres agregar algo?
Sí, bueno, eso.
Sí.
Sí, interseccionalidad finalmente es la palabra que une todo un poco lo que tratamos de crear desde Between Films, eh, como parte del colectivo disidente LGTB y migrante también.
Sí.
Eso sería. Gracias.
Sí.
Gracias por
Bueno,
todo.
aparte, en la emoción y la reflexión también, sí, que bueno, es de empatizar, creo que la palabra es empatizar también. Bueno, sí, muchas gracias por todo el festival y a las demás seleccionadas.
So we've been living for almost a year in Barcelona. We wanted to stay in this lane of poetic portraits documentary within our community. So right now we're coming up with the first instances of a future project with a trans person that is also brown, and it's also a migrant. So that's kind of like the project that we're trying to create at the moment. But we also keep working with our transvestite community, non-binary community, trans community, and it also comes with the topic of migration that I foresee, or that I think that you guys also experience in Vancouver. The theme of migration comes into this intersectionality. So incorporating it in this place is like a new path that I'm seeing, as well as talking about more migrant tales, more non-binary stories, as well as connecting with the next question, that is, what are we trying to tell or connect with the audience? I think is to showcase realities outside of the heteronorm, that we're also people, that we're valid as well, and with stories that are pretty similar to everybody else, if you want to think it that way. Beto also mentions that intersectionality is kind of like the main point that they're trying to come across with these new waves, with the non-binaries, with the migrant experience. But yeah, like the main focus is trying to have empathy and leave a reflection that, yeah, at the end of the day, like, everybody's valid, and they wanted to thank the festival as well as the other selectees of the short film cohort.
Thank you so much. And Tadeo, if you want to tell us your upcoming projects as the closing response.
Thanks. Well, I'm mostly an editor. So right now I'm distributing a short film I just edited, and also trying to distribute another more experimental short film I made, like just by myself alone. Um, Also have a couple, like a handful of projects, short films I'm editing later this year in the upcoming months. So that's mostly it. I'm in the very early stages of developing a new script for something. I have no idea if it's gonna be feature length, short length, but I think I'm just juggling a lot of ideas in the air right now. Just trying to see what catches on, what grabs my attention and keeps it for the whole like creative process.
Incredible. It's so exciting to hear that y'all are continuing to do the work. I'm so excited to see what projects emerge. Really, really looking forward to it. And thank you for all the themes. There's so many things I wish I could say, pero we're closing up our dialogue. So I will keep it with gratitude. Thank you for sharing your work and sharing your insights with us. It has been a truly, truly a pleasure to hear your creative processes, to hear the stories behind the films, to hear the people that you are and how these influence the films that you make. Just a reminder for everyone watching this virtually, Our event is on Tuesday, June 23rd at 6 p.m. at the Cinematheque. We'll be screening these incredible shorts by these amazing people. And also there will be music by the Satias and Brazilian food from Boteco. Additionally, last reminder that our 24th edition of the festival running from September 10th to 20th in multiple cinemas in Vancouver. So hope to see you there. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you all so much for making films. Keep making films that matter to you. Keep making films that represent you. Keep making films that represent us. I love you all so much, and I love cinema. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Gracias, Nico.
A ti,
Thank
Pablo.
you. Muchas gracias a